just you get to choose. Right? Like here's the scenario. The environment gives us something which can be perceived as negative, can be perceived as not working, can be perceived as problematic. The world's ending. But we get to choose to see it like that, or we get to choose to see it as an opportunity.
So clearly that it's my responsibility now to do that for other people. If I have information and, other people's success is my success and vice versa.
Because you know what? Like, the challenges or the roadblocks are the journey themselves.
There's no big things. It's all little things compounding on top of each other.
Coach, what is going on? What has been your favourite thing of today? Is there anything that made you laugh out loud today?
Yes. And I remember it because I went to get a coffee this morning from a coffee shop, and I was listening to a podcast, and it was as I was shutting my car off. So it was like the last line that I heard, I hit the stop button, I opened the door, and I was still laughing when I walked outside. So I was really aware of it, because if anybody was around, I'd be like, what's that guy doing over there?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. Like, did it impact? Like, I mean, it's great that the fact that you remembered it. Obviously, it has impacted as well. But like, is that important to you? Is it important to you to have that levity? Like, is laughing something that gives you a lot? Do you do a lot of it? Do you seek it out?
It's an interesting way to phrase that question. I think when I'm at my best, I'm laughing. If I'm not laughing, then I'm usually too uptight or too focused on something. I've had moments in the past couple of weeks where I do a nightly stretch routine before I go to bed, kind of a proactive routine to get rid of restless leg syndrome and allow me to calm down and go to sleep quickly. And I've noticed in those stretches, I'll just start laughing for no reason, or like something I reflect on from that day that was just like comical to me. I'll just laugh out loud. It feels so good. Like, it's so unexpected. And usually when you think of laughing, at least me, like, I don't know, I'm around a group of people or something. And sometimes it just feels good to laugh by yourself. That's
pretty cool, man. That's really, really cool.
Is that cool, or is that like the loneliest thing that you've ever heard in your life?
Stop projecting on me, man. Like a projection on me through yourself. That's weird. But actually, the thing that really jumped out for me there relates to part of some of my story. Is what you said, that when I'm at my best, I'm laughing. If I'm stressed, I'm not. I'm too uptight for it. That's that realization that I made, that in my previous career, that I started so young, I didn't want to seem immature, so I'd always be very serious. But they're realizing that I'm only having fun when I'm having fun, and I'm at my best when I'm having fun. So.
I got another example, and you're probably about to make another point there. I'll let you get back to that.
No, that's it, really.
I've noticed on my Zoom photo, so whenever I turn my camera off, I see this picture of me that, I thought was a good picture, and it is. But I'm in like a suit and tie. And I think 4 years ago, when I started coaching, that was the message I wanted to send out. I'm serious about business. I can help. I'm going to add value as a coach. And now it's like cringy to me. That's not what I want people to perceive when they think of me as a business coach. I don't want the suit and tie. So it's kind of like the same theme there of like, maybe I just need a big picture of me laughing as my Zoom picture. What would that look like?
Well, maybe this is what we were talking off to outside of podcast earlier this week, around like haircuts and beards and not beards and long hair and short hair and stuff. Part of that, had that planted in your mind that was like in there. It's like, I've seen myself growing my hair again. Does that mean that I was somewhere along the line subconsciously affected by what I saw? And so that's directly in contrast to what you said. So that's really intriguing.
Did you laugh today, Coach?
As I was asking you the question, I realized that maybe I was laughing at your response. And so I think I've laughed today. I don't know whether I've laughed out loud, something that's made me go like, it's very specifically funny. think I'm happy and smiley often as an intention, but it has to be real. But so it's easier to see things with an intent. It's easier to be happy and smiley with an intention of being. So, but definitely the intention of laughing is important. I remember when last year we were at a beach house, putting the beach towels together, and my brother came over and we made a deck because we did that once when we lived in Florida. He came over from England and we made a deck. I was like, I want to do that again, make a deck. I remember just last year after that was something I just haven't laughed like this for a long time, right? I just was off work, not doing anything. So, and it's really a prelude to this week. I'll be spending a few days in Mexico with Christine, my wife, and there's gonna be lots of laughing then because it's like it's gonna be cool because we didn't have this type of holiday for a long time. Where it's just like there's not really anything to do. Plenty to do in a resort, but like it's in the resort and just like chill out. The point is to rest and have fun. So that's why it was on my mind, to intentionally do those things. But I think it's a really powerful thing to think about. It's a leverage thing to think about we don't necessarily do. Talk about a lot about meditation, but connection and community and smiling and laughing is meditative.
Yeah. I don't think I want to have success without laughter. Like that's part of success. Like happiness or success or fulfillment or whatever you want to call it, I think comes with the feeling of like this lightheartedness that it's not difficult, although there's things that are difficult along the way. The ability to laugh at yourself, like humor is such a gift. While you're speaking, actually, I reflected on that. My nightly tendency is, a lot of people, I think I would include you in this group, is you listen to podcasts to inform, to get ahead for your continual education, to remind yourself of important things and principles. My tendency is to put a humor podcast on, just something I can like unwind and like be mindless. And I have a few favorite comedians that are just ridiculous. And I became aware of that, how often I do that. I mean, it's every night that I do that as part of my routine, like kind of recently. I'm like, is this the way that I want to do this? Do I have another option? Is there another podcast? Lately I've been putting nothing on, just silence. I'm enjoying the space. I don't think we do that enough, but it was just a reflection of mine. Like I want to laugh. I want to have that moment. Because when we laugh, like how would you describe it when you laugh? Like what you feel?
Well, it's like the opposite of all the things that we don't want to feel that we talk about oftentimes, right? It's like you can't be anxious and you can't be anxious and laughing at the same time. You can't be overwhelmed and laughing at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great antidote.
Yeah. I think that like consciousness kind of dissolves when you laugh. Like you're not aware or you don't care. It's just like a pure expression moment. Like it just comes out of you. Like how infectious is it when somebody else is laughing uncontrollably? Like
right.
you can almost
what? What's funny?
yeah, you can laugh at their laughter because they just can't even control it. So that uncontrolled emotion it's just the way I connect with it is that it's so pure. It's from a place of source or God or whatever you want to call it, that it just comes through and like you're just the conduit of it and you're just passing it along, and it's hilarious.
And the key for me is that you don't want to be. You said you don't want to be successful without laughing, but you also said that I'm at my best when I'm doing it. So it's almost like you won't be successful without it anyway.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good reminder for me as a counter to some of like my old school beliefs. If I'm not having fun, it's not fun. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for anyone. And who wants to be there is not fun. So it doesn't matter. I mean, just or said differently, you don't have to be serious to take things seriously. You're dealing with the most important thing. You still be laughing,
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of it. Like I'm utilizing the best version of myself. This is how it's happening right now.
Mm. So do we need to get more laughter into our lives? What's the how do we think about this? Do we need to think about how often we're laughing? Do we need to just become aware of when we laugh?
I think so. And I think also that I made a distinction that there's different types as well. Because there's that uncontrollable reactive laugh, and then there's the conversational things that you do to move the conversation along because laughter creates the levity.
Mm.
And it's not, maybe it's not laughter as much as smiling and be happy, I suppose, that Tyler touched on that. It's on the same thing, it's on the same spectrum, but it is like it's one it's not, perhaps it's quite extreme of it, but I think about it all the time, right? Like as I dive into any client call, jump on, it's like I'm coming on with that fun energy
Mm-hmm.
to start with. I was doing jumping jacks a minute ago for my last client, and my super coach fell down, broke.
Oh
upset.
no! It's like
Again, like just no, he's all right.
still standing.
He's super. He'll get over it. So, I mean, what intention can you make a difference? I mean, look on your calendar tomorrow, coach, and look at a call. And I expect you. I know you've done a lot of work on this, so it may not be the case really anyway. But as you look on there, like which call do you have the most resistance to? I mean, I haven't got to be specific in saying where it is, but like, can you pick one out where you got most resistance?
Sure. Yeah.
If you think about just going into that call, fun, laughter, enjoying it, like with just deciding to enjoy it, like taking that pre-enjoyment into the call, does that change how you might think about that call?
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, not being influenced by external forces, just controlling what I can control, how I show up. And then kind of like what we said earlier, it's intoxicating, it's infectious. So who knows what conversations maybe feel safe or communication feels safe because I show up like that. You know, like authenticity might be bred by humor in that conversation.
And you got to break people's patterns. And you got to put yourself in a good place, right? It's like the person with the most certainty, and you could be certain that we're gonna have fun. And if you show up like that, then the chances of you having fun just grow exponentially. Awesome stuff, coach. Pull it down for me. Distill it down. Give me the spirit at the bottom here. What's the thing that you want to take away today?
At different versions of humor and laughter, how it shows up, sometimes intentionally, sometimes uncontrollably, sometimes reactive. But the way I think about laughter, with how pure it is and where it comes from, it needs to be part of my life, maybe even more. And it brings a certain amount of levity to a situation that's, or the opposite of that, but it has a way of redirecting a conversation and maybe even creating safety around how authentically we share with each other.
Love it. Breaks down barriers, coach. Breaks down barriers.
Breaks down barriers. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Awesome.
Take care.
Coach. See you next time.
Thank you for watching another episode of Truth Seekers. We appreciate your interaction. So please comment, like, subscribe to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want more, check out some of our links. Links to our masterclass, The Achiever's Mindset, and come join our LinkedIn group. And what do you want to see more of? Remember, we're here to share the simple secrets of successful. So help us do that. What do you want to see? What do you want to see more of? Thanks, and see you again next time.